hot sunny day today in July. We're standing close to the coast of Israel. The coast is just behind us in that direction, and we're standing in a place called Caesarea, or you might be more used to saying it, Caesarea. So this place was very significant in the gospel narrative. It is mentioned many times in the final chapters of the book of Acts. And one of the most important stories is where the Apostle Peter has just been in Luda, in Lod, and he has brought someone back to life there. And then he is called to go to a place called Jaffa, which is just south of here in this direction. And in Jaffa, he is going to do several things, but one of the most important things that happens in Jaffa is that he's standing on a rooftop. And as he's standing on that rooftop, something very strange comes down from heaven. And it's actually a sheet, and that sheet is filled with animals. And God tells Peter to kill and to eat from these animals. And Peter says, no way, I'm not going to eat from those animals. They're not kosher. There's all kinds of things that I'm not allowed to eat. They're scavengers. And the message that God is wanting to portray through Peter in this moment is that he is allowed to go to the Gentiles with the gospel, and that God is calling the Gentile nations clean, whereas they had previously been unclean for the Jewish people. And so this is a very, very significant moment. And what happens after this is that the Apostle Peter is sent a messenger from where we're standing right now, from Caesarea, and that messenger comes to Jaffa and asks him to come all the way up the coastal plain to Caesarea. And he arrives here, and then he meets a Roman centurion. And this Roman centurion is a God-fearing man, and God knows that he is ready to hear the good news. He's ready to hear the gospel. And what actually happens after this is that him and his household are baptized. And it's the first record that we have in the gospel accounts of an entire Gentile family coming to faith. So in that sense, you could call Caesarea the turning point of the gospel to the Gentiles. Now, behind me, you can see this magnificent theater. And this theater was originally built by King Herod. And Herod wanted to make a place, a fantastic city, that would increase his renown before the emperor in Rome. And in order to do this, he wanted to build a pagan city here. So he wanted to build all of the common institutions that would be used in a pagan city. So we're talking about a theater, we're talking about an amphitheater that we're going to walk over to and we're going to discuss in just a few moments. We're talking about things like a bathhouse. The bathhouse would have been one of the most common things that was built wherever the Romans went to. Now, the theater we can think of as being rather like a television set. A theater can be used both for good or it can be used for evil. It's in of itself neither one of those things, but it can be used, for example, to preach the gospel. We know that both Peter and Paul were in this place. We know that the Apostle Paul was imprisoned here and that he had to give testimony several times before the leadership who were here. And during that period, the leadership of this place, the governors and so on, were changing multiple times. Is it possible that either of those men ever stood there and preached the gospel from that place? Yes, it absolutely is. It is also possible that he preached from over in the palace area, and again, we're going to go and see that in just a few minutes. Now, what the Romans actually wanted to use the theater for was to put aside their ideas to the people of this region. You can imagine the Roman Empire is wanting to expand, it's wanting to exert its dominions on the people of this region, and so they need to put across their ideas, kind of like a propaganda machine. In fact, just in front of where I'm standing there would have been what was called a scenafrons, and that was like a very tall building, and they would be able to lower things down onto the stage, rather like in a modern theatre today. And one of the things they would lower down onto the stage would be the idea of the gods coming down to visit man. And of course the Romans were pagans, so they had very different ideas to the Jewish people. And this plants really the seed of a conflict or a problem that is going to soon arise between the Romans and the Jews. But we're actually going to discuss that in greater depth. We're going to walk over to the amphitheater, and then we will start to discuss the seeds of this very strong conflict that arose between the Jews and the Romans. So this is the theater of Caesarea. We're now going to say goodbye for now, and we're going to go across to another part of the site to show you some of the jewels that are here. I apologize that I'm wearing sunglasses, but as you can see, it's a very bright and sunny day, and if not, I would be squinting at you. So I prefer to put the glasses on for now.